Hi everyone, welcome to my review of Miraculous Season 2, Episode 2. Everyone who watched the episode knows that this one was really something. I'll get to the details in a minute, but please know that you should watch the episode before listening to my review, since I'm addressing specific details of the episode. Let's start with a synopsis for Doudou Vilain, or as known in English, Despair Bear. This episode deals with Chloe trying to be nice because otherwise Adrian wouldn't be her friend anymore. Chloe's butler helps her with that, but at some point she's fed up and fires him. The butler then gets akumatized by Hawkmoth and turns into a tiny puppet master of Chloe's teddy bear. And every person he touches is manipulated by him. Before I watched the episode, I didn't know much about what was going to happen. People just told me it was the episode with the ball scene that we already saw in the Season 2 promo, and I also knew that it was going to contain a lot of Adrinette, which is always a good incentive for me to watch an episode. Those of you who watched my Q&A video know that Adrinette is my favorite ML pairing, so you can imagine how excited I was about this episode. Again, my review will be segmented into the categories storyline, plot development, character development, animation, and voice acting. The latter is mainly concerning the French dub, which I watched first, so I can't say anything about other dubs. Let's start with the storyline. Chloe's butler, Jean-Claude, or whatever his name is, because we never really get to know, because Chloe always calls him another name. The butler is a really great person. He even managed to get Chloe to kiss Marinette on the cheek, which is a common way of greeting each other in France. And that sure was a funny scene in the episode. Also, Chloe says sorry to Vilain, which even confuses Hawkmoth. And it's interesting to get a confirmation that Hawkmoth acknowledges how despised Chloe normally is and that she often makes it easier for him to find Akuma victims. It's not surprising though that the victim in this episode is caused by Chloe as well, though I must admit that her butler was really embarrassing her in front of her whole class, and I can understand why she flipped out in the end. Then there are just a few details I'd like to acknowledge. For example, Adrian finally gets to eat cookies and he looks very happy about that. Also, the fact that Adrian and Marinette were dancing to a romantic song, holding each other tightly, that must have made the fandom go insane. At least I know I was squealing during the scene. And Alia was just the best side woman ever when she repositioned Marinette and Adrian's hands during the dance. Let's move on to the next category, plot development. There wasn't really any major plot development like there was in the episode of The Collector, but we got a lot of character development, so I'll just talk about that. A major point is that Adrian defends Marinette when Chloe accuses her of setting off the fire alarm at school. Furthermore, he speaks up to Chloe about her behavior and tells her that he can't be friends with her if she doesn't make an effort to be nice. And in my opinion, Adrian not putting up with Chloe's mean behavior anymore is a sign that he's starting to learn what a real friend is. Also, now that he has other friends, he's not that dependent of Chloe anymore, so I think this is also a reason why he had the courage to speak up to her. Something that didn't change is that Marinette is still head over heels crazy about Adrian, but I'm happy that she is now able to form whole sentences in front of him and doesn't stutter all that much like she did in the beginning. In general, I'm super surprised by how close Adrian and Marinette already are, especially after watching the slow dance scene. Interestingly, we also get to see different sides of Chloe in this episode. For example, that she can be quite vulnerable. You can especially see that in the scene where she behaves like a little child or even a baby, when she cuddles with her teddy and sucks her thumb. But I was also surprised by how Chloe saves Ladybug from the manipulated Chat Noir. Maybe this is the beginning of a redemption arc for her, which is interesting when you combine that with the assumption that she's maybe gonna get the B Miraculous at some point. So it might be that this is somehow the start of her character changing. I have one question though concerning characters. Are Alia and Nino an official couple yet or what? I mean, they were dancing so comfortably with each other, and I also kind of think that Alia did tell Nino who Marinette's crush was. At least he didn't make a fuss about Alia bringing Adrien and Marinette closer to each other at the dance. So we might assume that they already shared each other's secrets, or at least Alia shared that secret with him. And we'll see that maybe in the next episode. Concerning animation, I only have 2 comments. For example, I noticed that Alia's hair somehow looks different. I noticed that about Adrien's hair in the last episode already. Those who watched my last review know that. And it could be that they improved the animation of the character's hair in general. Although until now I only noticed that with these 2 characters, Adrien and Alia. Also, I love the look on Alia's face when she watched Adrien and Marinette dance. It's awesome how the animators are so detail-oriented, because a normal spectator wouldn't even notice, I guess. But if you watch closely or if you pause the video, you can see that she observes them and maybe thinks about how she can bring them closer. So I thought it was really fun to see that. And concerning voice acting, I don't have anything to say about voice acting this time actually. There was nothing odd standing out for me at least, so I guess that's a good sign. And in summary, this was a gorgeous episode. It was only the 2nd one to air in France, so imagine what the rest of the season will be like. I had the impression that there was so much happening in the episode, and the episode felt really long, which in this case is not a bad sign, because I felt like there was so much content and I loved all the Adriennette feels and the direction in which their friendship and relationship is going. But I still feel like the episodes of season 2 are standalones. There's nothing that picks up anything concrete from episode 1, there's no major plot development, but a huge plus point in this episode is the bunch of character development we got for several characters. Just a quick outlook on what to expect in the next episode. Especially after watching this episode, I hope we'll get to see more development in Adrien and Marinette's relationship. Also, in general, I hope the character development continues in other episodes, because this episode was really great in terms of character development. That's a wrap for now. Thank you for listening to my thoughts on the episode. Feel free to leave comments below the video and tell me your opinion on the episode. If you enjoyed my review, please like and subscribe, and also follow me on social media to stay up to date about further reviews. You can find the links below. I'll be happy to talk to you in my next review, and until then, take care everyone, and goodbye!